Hello guys, my name is Nine and welcome to the Chiron. This base features a tight compound, a simplistic starter, a unique semi-open core, an early game shooting floor, and might I say some beautiful roof peaks. Before we get into today's video, if you guys are new around here, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like, subscribed, and did all that fun stuff. And down in the comments, let me know what you guys think of the build, the video, and all that stuff. I'd love to hear your feedback. Without further ado, let's look at the cost and the upkeep of the base on screen now. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, like I said, leave a comment down below. And without further ado, let's get into a tour. Alrighty guys, here is the next base design. It's been a while, so this one I've taken a good amount of time with, and I think you guys will really like. It has 3 external TCs with a very cheap upkeep, as the entirety of the upkeep is really just on main TC. Going in one of these 3 entrances, there's going to be having some nice Patricos into compound and behind our furnace funnel. I love this furnace funnel. It has amazing angles. It, this side also has a bedroom, and I have glass windowed this one off as to not just have stuff yoinked through. On either side we have shotgun traps, and you'll see here that this furnace funnel is absolutely spectacular. It is just beautiful, along with more shotgun traps and anything, so even if this is destroyed, it is going to be annoying, as you might tell. Along with these nice head glitch type peaks for far angles here that I'll now come around here to show you. And excuse the door for bugging out. Also behind this garage door, we have a battery. These are compound batteries. This is one of 2 locations for batteries. Call it. There's 3 of these on the compound level and then 3 up top in case you need more batteries. I do suggest using these over those though, as those are more for electricity inside base, for electric furnaces and stuff like that. Now here you can kind of see this head glitch peak. Very nice. And coming out here, I did do this as an airlock this time, as the footprint just perfectly allowed for it. Alrighty, entering into base here. Now, 2 of our sides will be jump ups like this, but one side will have an entrance into core through this wall. So I'm going to jump around to the other side here. Just like this. Here we go. Got lucky and picked it the first time. Now this is a basic starter unit. It is an egg starter. All I've done is spammed a ton of boxes and all the usuals in here. And here's main TC. You're going to get just under a day in this thing, but it's worth it. You will notice I didn't use almost any high qual. This is just a starter unit. No need to spam high qual down here. So this stone and metal will work perfectly. Paired with all these boxes will be good. And obviously room for bags throughout. Jumping up now is to... It's a semi-open core. Through the jump up, we have these loot rooms that are basically in the little jump-ins to what would be considered the open part of our core. And the reason I've done this is if I break open this tile here, it makes this entire section all partitioned off from each other. So the cost to get from one square of loot to the next is like 3 to 4 garage doors. So in a pummel type raid, this becomes just crazy expensive to get through, because even if they start pummeling through here, and they pummel usually what would be a typical open core, this way it still has the functionality of an open core, but in a pummel type raid, it's going to soak an extra 20 rockets for absolutely no reason. And it's just like, I don't know, it's beautiful. I love these types of concepts. I did this a lot back in the day and haven't done them recently, and I'm kind of trying new things here. On this now shooting floor segment, each side has 2 bedrooms, 3-way symmetry, so you get 6 bedrooms on this section. Obviously your basic peaks like this. This one's amazing just for your front door. And then you have some nice little head glitches. You put small boxes here, they become even better peaks. All the turrets are very basic on this level, I forgot to mention. They kind of just watch everything. They're more or less to just hold these bedrooms near respawns to keep you secure and make it so these bedrooms can't be camped out of. More peaks, mountain roof style. For far, close. You guys know how it is. Jump up to the roof. Here is the alternate location for batteries. This is very good for electricity. I like to do this for searchlights, electric furnaces, stuff like that. Continuing to the roof. Yet again, apologies for this. 3 auto turrets with these spinky peaks. These are beautiful. If you haven't seen Spinky's video of him doing this first, I do love these peaks. And it worked perfect on this footprint, so I kind of had to use it. You obviously don't want to stand right here on this, but using these ramps to get around in side angles is good. And shooting back through this is an absolute pain, so very good. Jumping up here, I like to have mixing tables here as a jump up to this next section. This gives us a nice little low wall peak. 3 more bedrooms on the roof. And obviously just some very basic ramp, jump rounds and peaks, all parkourable. There are multiple ways to this section. You could do a run up, if I don't mess it up, like this, jump around. Obviously not just the mixing tables being the only way. Alrighty guys, if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns about base, please leave a comment in the comment section below. It'd mean the absolute world to me. And if you have any other ideas or anything that you guys would like to see, either join the Discord or just type it in the description. I need and would love more ideas. A lot of the building stuff has been getting a little repetitive lately, and I would love to see some new things happen in the community. Alrighty guys, without any further ado, let's get into the build. Alrighty guys, so before we start building the base, obviously some people like to see the footprint, so here it is. On the externals, we have 3 of these guys, stemming off of where our battery modules are. These are our bedrooms, with our technical funnel wall and spinky type peak, with our gatehouses here, our shooting floor / peak downs on these sections, jump ins and rotation modules here, followed by obviously our basic egg core. Alrighty guys, so be aware I do use a little bit of build grade and stuff like that in the video to speed up the process, but I try to make it as simple as possible. So starting off here, we're going to start with a triangle and a square, and then 2 triangles. Technically you only need these 2 triangles to start, but it's up to you just so you know the layout. Coming in here, we're going to place our TC, place it far back against the wall to make it easier to reach this foundation later. Coming out quickly, we're going to want to keep expanding. We're just going to fill in our egg footprint a little more, followed by another double door, a shelf, some boxes, our tier 2 workbench, and a furnace. Obviously, this will be a tier 1 earlier. Boxes here, workbench, and then our furnace. Room for a few bags, and this is our very basic starter unit to get you started. Now continuing on, I'm going to put a square on each side of this triangle, followed by 2 more triangles, and then sealing everything in but this guy with a single door. And that'll be our airlock. Obviously sealing off the roof, grabbing 2 single doors, and what I like to do is remove these 2 double doors and move them out. Adding a shelf in here. This can now be a loot room. And we'll do this. I'm not going to do too much deployable placement down here in the core, as everyone kind of knows how to do this. I'd rather focus more of the time on the actual base and all that stuff. Now be aware, we want to get a shelf in here, but if you want to do a single door, this foundation might be really hard to reach. As you can see here, it literally just half doesn't let me do it. So what I might suggest is upgrading this foundation before we add that single door frame. And heck, if you can get this wall too right away, I like to do the ceiling tile as well. Why not? Before we add a single door here, and this is obviously where you want an arbor door, if and when you get it. Now continuing here, we're just going to upgrade everything in this core to sheet metal, except this wall, and these roofing tiles entirely. I don't even know what skin that is. And then coming to the outside, I'm just going to come out and sheet metal everything. The only thing that technically doesn't need sheet metal are these single door frames, but this wall gets it, and this will give you a nice idea of how we're doing things. Alright. Now add some garage doors in here, and this will be the rest of the starter unit done. Nothing more to do in here. It is very basic. It is a starter, thus the name. I will place these last 2 boxes though. Alright, now coming to the outside, it is time to do the basic honeycomb. So turning on symmetry here is going to build on all 3 sides at the same time. So off of each square, place a triangle and wall it in, and that's our honeycomb. Now come to our single door entrance and place 4 triangles to make a hexagon like this. And obviously this is going on every side here. So the right side we can go ahead and honeycomb right away, but this left side is going to be slightly different on one side. So what we're going to do here is put a wall. This side's going to get a double door, and these other sides are going to be honeycombed in. So from the top it looks fully honeycombed, but just know one way, or one side rather, has this. I'll garage door this for now, as this is technically the final grade. Okay, toggling back on symmetry, put a single door and a window on every side like this. And this will be our jump up to our next level. And your doors, your embrasures, all this stuff. For early game concerns, I usually do a double door here. And I'll quickly move it out one. And a garage door in here. This is stuff just I do. This is what it looks like from a top view. I want to give you guys as many viewpoints to this as possible, so it doesn't get too confusing. Okay, next let's build our open core type module. Come around and fully wall in the entire thing off this excuse me, squares. Place another wall and then wall it in. This creates a whole honeycomb type section, as you can see here. Half wall here and here. Double door frame. Just become a jump up. We could wall again here to honeycomb this section. And then wall this entire little guy in. Cap this off, cap this off. Open core type module. Obviously, triangle here. Triangle. Love this core, it just makes the base an absolute tank. So double doors here, and every other slot is going to get garage doors. You don't need a lot of garage doors, and this core becomes expensive, especially once it's sheet metal, and that's kind of the beauty of it. It's just meant to confuse, annoy, and be expensive for raiders. If you don't like furnaces as well, instead of doing furnaces in this right section, here, be aware you could always just do some more boxes. I had furnaces in the tour variation of this base design, but I know a lot of groups have a ton of storage needs, and this is your little solution, because then you're pairing 8 boxes in each little section, plus small boxes if you really min-max everything. So I'll go ahead and sheet metal all the roofing tiles just to kind of keep it flowing, but this is good. Alrighty, this is an outside view. Ooh, and make sure to cap off those guys. Alright. Next thing we're going to do is make the shooting floor type segment. So at a twig here, what we're going to do is place 3 triangles, a triangle, we'll use the other side too, 1, 2, 3, another triangle. This is the footprint you should be left over with. Give you guys more ideas. And then finally do another triangle, square, square. That is the full footprint. And then we'll upgrade those to the desired grades. Sheet metal, stone, 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 sheet metal, sheet metal. Oop. Excuse me. Now on top of these guys, we're going to add frames of their desired grade. So whatever's below is what the top one gets. And this is obviously the brick skin, but it's stone. So just like that. And then we're going to build this 2 high rather. Just like this. This is how it's taking shape now, giving you some more angles yet again. Now I'm going to switch back to build grade and add our windows in here. Floor frame, half walls, windows, and a roof tile. Now if you have any building skin, this peak becomes amazing. Remember, you can still shoot and throw grenades and other items through this gap anyways. So in a worst case scenario, if you don't have it, it's still usable if there are players down there and you have nades or any of that fun stuff. I'm going to add the embrasures on here right away and then try to seal this guy off. and then a single door frame. Now jumping down here on these sections, wall in each one, and add a double door frame. These are our bedroom modules. There'll be 6 of these on the base. And I'll show you how to place everything here. Locker goes against this wall. Bed right there. And we call it a day. I'll do it again. Also sheet metal these so they're not exploitable. Alright. A good early game turret spot can be here if you just want to throw these and hook them up to a generator for early game defense. Now here is where we have the alternate battery location. Right in this pod right here. Let me actually throw that guy down. This is also good for early game batteries, just in case you need it before you do externals or anything of that nature. And this is how I do everything here. Obviously, feel free to change this or switch this out however you like, if one way works better for you. Now, I'm going to jump and kind of fly back up to this module. This is where we're going to add a wall frame. Let's do a lowered ramp here as a heli breach take peak. A low wall, floor, window, yet another bedroom pod, and then 2 roof triangles. Glass windowing this guy off, that's all it needs. I will also add a twig, or not twig, but a wood ramp here to make this peak a little better. So you have more angles to play. And you can kind of head glitch it a little more. And yet again, just another basic bedroom. Okay. Now here is what we're looking like at this exact moment. Let me add this embrasure here. That's stage 1 of the shooting floor done. Let's make our little compound gatehouses, and then we're going to make the externals and compound. So coming down to here, we're going to add a single door here, all the windows all the way around. Double door frames. We'll glass window all these guys for now. Single door. This spot can get a garage door, and then these 2 can have double doors. Now in a real wipe scenario, I actually like to add a auto turret right here, as this will then be used late game as just kind of a really tucked in auto turret. I mean, you can pull it forward a little more. I like it about right there, just so it doesn't block your movement in and out, but it's going to act as a turret. So obviously I can still maneuver, and then this turret just gives us an extra angle here, and as you can see, the point is to see these corners. Just a double up turret. This base's strength really comes from its compound. Alright, those modules are done. Let's make the externals. So I have a twig here now. Let's build 1, 2 triangles, square triangle. You can kind of see we have a bow tie design coming back. Looks like this. And then followed by 6 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leave that last square and break the build out. You can leave these 2 for now, they won't really matter. Come back with triangles. Now this is seemingly, I believe, too big of a gap. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. So add 1 more square, triangle, square, triangle, 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 triangle. There we go, perfect. Okay, so we come back with 2 half moons, square, triangle, square, triangle, triangle, triangle. Because of our build out that we have to do over here, it makes us come back with an extra square instead of just triangles. You know you have it right when the gap is 1 human length. As you can see, I can't shuffle left to right. I'm spamming left and right on my keyboard. I can't do it. Like you see here, I can't do it. I can't move. But I can still walk through this section, as you can see here, which means it's perfect. Okay? So now breaking all but 1 of these triangles that was left over, a square, square, triangle, square, and there's our real footprint. Sheet metal these guys, stone this guy, and as you can see, you can walk through this, which is perfect. Okay. We're gonna add a square here, 2 triangles, and 1 more triangle on the end. Okay. There's a battery pod, 2 windows, foundations here. They're not needed. Oop, no, they will be. Square triangle. Not square triangle, but just like this. Low wall, half walls. Airlock. Now I'm obviously making this all before the external here, but that's personal preference. Now obviously this isn't connected to anything, so now we add our external. You can do all this. What you could do as well, if you need to save on cost, is just make this little battery pod, even with nothing in it, and then just build this build out from it. So triangle, square, 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 and now we're doing our basic external. Another thing to be aware of is if you are playing any type of server that is more competitive, anything more competitive where you're gonna receive higher offline rated, I'd call them like likeliness, I suggest bunkering these externals rather than doing this, just so you can make them 16 rockets way cheaper. Because in nowadays meta, there's a lot of offlines going on, I'm sad to say, so not much we can do about it, but add some bunkers and hope. There's our disconnectable, obviously disconnecting the external like this. Disconnects this, you can replace your main TC if in the event it is broken. Okay. Now half walls to top this gatehouse. Low walls or half walls, doesn't really matter here. Followed by double door frames like this. Grab our wall, auto turret, and our barricades. I'll place his turrets ahead of time right now before I do the walls, but it doesn't matter what order you really do them in. Obviously, you're probably going to get the compound down before a ton of turrets. But that's where those guys go. Now, compound's a little weird. Off of this square, we're basically going to be placing a wall straight off like this. And that's going to be the gapping. So, jumping down here, wall's going to go basically straight off from here. And then coming back like this. Now, obviously, my gap's a little big, because I slanted it just ever so slightly, not so much, where we didn't want it. So let me pull it just a little bit closer. And then, not too much, try again. Obviously practice this. I need build server beforehand. This is a very important key step. But this looks pretty darn good. So, see if our furnace fits. Obviously it does fit. But standing right here and looking straight up until we find a location that it goes. Had it before. Try a different angle. Ooh, there we go. Follow that up. Boom. Obviously just a little build out, but this becomes a full furnace funnel. And the beauty of this is amazing. So, let me actually place these other walls first. Apologies. Slanted a little too much. Obviously a little gap's not going to kill you. And then I'll place this one quickly instead of doing the in person. Take time when placing these furnaces. The better you place them, the harder it is going to be for raiders to get through. Okay. 2 barricades. One like this and one like this. Breaking this. That's going to be nice and annoying for them. Same with this section. Obviously a temporary build here. One like that. Oof. I fell when I placed it. There. Those are perfect. Even if they ladder over this compound, they're in a bad spot. You can kind of ladder up and over here, but you're taking damage, which is beautiful. Same with this section. You can't really ladder back over here, and that's the beauty of this compound, of it being so tight. Alright. Off of this section right here now. Oh, excuse me, rather. Let me get the whole bedroom module and all down here done before we move any further. Garage door in here. Double door. 2 lockers and a bed. 2 lockers and 2 beds. Perfect. Finally paired with glass window. And then these spots I like to put shotgun traps. They become really pesky for the raiders later. And then now, apologies if that being out of the wrong grade, shotgun traps here as well. This also turns these peaks into head glitches once you just put embrasures on these guys, and they give very nice long angles all the way to there. Alrighty, out of sheet metal now on this section, build up 2 high, add 2 half walls, and then 2 more wall frames. Now coming to the inside, do 1, sorry, don't do those last 2 wall frames yet. 1 triangle off a main, another triangle off main. 1 is a different grade than the other. 1 sheet metal, 1 is stone. If you upgrade 1 to sheet metal, it can raise as conditional, and we don't want that. So downgrade it. Obviously you can't downgrade it like I am doing on the server right now, but do not keep them the same grade. 1 sheet metal, 1 stone. If you mess up, sheet metal, armored. Makes sense. Now come with these 2 frames, and then 2 roofing tiles like this. Obviously I'm placing it from the outside, but this is a very, very easy placement. It's literally just jump up here and just perfect. Did it while floating. Now to make this peak even better, grab 2 double doors and place them like this, swinging inwards. That blocks the angles even more and forces these crazy tight angles. Okay. Now this is all good. Let's go back into our core and finish up a lot of stuff that needs to be done in there. So, open core is the basics done. Sheet metal this interior of these guys like this, along with these guys like this. Basically anything that has a box behind it, sheet metal, so it becomes more expensive to reach, and you are good. Coming down obviously into our starter core. Now, so our starter is already upgraded like in here. Now what you're going to want to do is off this honeycomb, you want to sheet metal this stability here, and then everything on the first level should get sheet metal. Now these jump ups don't need to be, and apologies for my internet here lagging. I'm trying to downgrade this, but it's just not working. I don't know what's going on there. This is a new one for me. All right, let me just do this. Apologies, guys. And there's obviously supposed to be a jump up here. Give me 2 seconds. I apologize, guys. But everything on this first level needs to be sheet metal. Got a lot of internet lag the last few days. So basically, if you look around like this, down here, everything on that first level is technically sheet metaled and honeycombed sheet metal. That's going to add a lot of raid cost to the base. Up top here, sheet metal these frames. This guy, sheet metal because it's technically soft side. Okay, coming to roof, your roof jump up ways are usually a mixing table or any type of deployable. And on a lot of my wipes, I'll actually throw a ton of small furnaces on a roof. And the reason for that is just charcoal restraints. I run into that issue a lot. So usually I throw mixing tables and all this stuff, and that's why the space is so open and left like this. But obviously do whatever you want with it. So last thing to note is windmills go just on top of these modules. They're practically a perfect height. You don't need to get them too much higher, especially if you have 3 for a base's size, you'll be good. So if you guys do have any questions, comments, concerns, things I may have missed, anything, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. And without further ado, guys, I will see you in the next video. Let me know what you guys want to see for the next base build video or next type of content type video you'd like to see on the channel. I'd love to hear it. And yeah, guys, without further ado, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.